going on, Jerome's? So, of course, the story du jour of the week is the starting of Max Brosmer up in Seattle against one of the best defenses in the National Football League. The whole Sam Darnold game. Yeah. And, yeah, with Brosmer, obviously there's some more hype locally because he was the Minnesota Golden Gophers quarterback last year. Set a record for number of completions, also second all-time for a single season completion percentage. So, we'll be able to get the ball out accurately, which is what this offense needs. Plus, the entire story of him as a UDFA, holy shit, he's Quadzira. And also, too, so yes, I feel like there's a lot more hype around Brosmer starting than a UDFA in recent memory, right? And I do think it's important because, Brosmer has been impressive so far this season when given opportunities, whether it's preseason, whether it's training camp. And to be honest, he did beat out veteran Sam Howell. He did beat out Brett Rippon-Ass, who the coaching staff likes. So it's not nothing. Like, it seems insignificant, but it's certainly not nothing. And also, like, even though they brought aboard Carson Wentz as a veteran hedge, that Brosmer has been trusted to be the quarterback too when McCarthy got hurt. And when Wentz went down, he still remained quarterback too, even though the Vikings brought aboard Jumpin' John Wolford and Desmond Ridder. It's still Brosmer getting the start. So he does have faith of Kevin O'Connell and company. And so, like we said, that's not nothing, right? And long story longer, ESPN's Jerome Fowler, ESPN, the worldwide leader of bleeder of readers, viewers, and subscribers, talking about the Bros Show today on SportsCenter, which SportsCenter used to be the mecca, I used to watch SportsCenter all the damn time, but anyways, this is what Jerome Fowler, ESPN, said about Max Brosmer. Max Brosmer, a huge showcase for this guy. The Vikings know that they have something in Max Brosmer, and they felt like he had a really good preseason. I talked to multiple teams who said he was cool and calm and collected in the preseason action he did get. Which, again, you could say, well, it's preseason, whatever. Did play against the Titans once. And also, who didn't look calm and collected in preseason? Sam Howell, Brett Rippon-Ass. He's an undrafted free agent, so the expectations aren't overly high. But I'm told that just from a mental preparation standpoint, he's been really good, and they feel like, hey, maybe something can happen here. And it does seem like J.J. McCarthy's been in his own head last couple weeks. We've talked about, and there's a lot of things on his plate right now. Newborn, first time starting quarterback, some rough patches, and it's a lot to digest. Certainly is. And Brosmer coming in, clean slate, no expectations, and I think that he could easily thrive in this spot. And, of course, he tied into with Brock Purdy. And it was around 3 years to the day that Brock Purdy made his debut week 12 of the 2022 season. He was started for the 49ers, and the rest is history. Is one of the top 10 to top 12 best quarterbacks in the league. Yeah, there's a lot of expectations to put on this guy. However, there is some symmetry here. You have Kevin O'Connell's offense. They got weapons, yes. Like, they feel like at the least he's going to be probably more mentally prepared than they've had this season with the struggles of J.J. McCarthy. So in terms of mental preparation, being mentally prepared, putting Brosmer in over McCarthy, like we said, McCarthy's had a lot on his plate. And also, it is important to note that McCarthy is only 22. Max Brosmer is 24. He started more college football games than J.J. McCarthy. And even though, McCarthy's the stoic philosophy meditation guy, I feel like Brosmer, just in the way that he's contorted himself in preseason and training camp, and just hearing him talk to the media, like the moment isn't going to be too big. And Fowler, obviously trying to draw some parallels between the Trey Lance, he was taken number 3 overall by the 49ers, who they trade up heaven and earth to go get him, and Brock Purdy, the last pick in the draft, and I mean, it's not there. Especially you have a veteran wedged in there with Jimmy G and Carson Wentz, who eventually got hurt and handed over the job. And yes, we've made those parallels and jokes ourselves. Even like back in training camp, we talked about, Brock Purdy was the Mr. Irrelevant and Brosmer as a UDFA, but, their games in terms of getting the ball out quick and accurately, pretty similar, except for Purdy threw 3 picks against Carolina. So that sort of torpedoed that whole analogy this week. Yeah. And it's... Obviously, we're keeping an open mind on things, and we obviously love and support J.J. McCarthy, but at the end of the day, we just want the Vikings to have a good quarterback. And it doesn't matter if it's McCarthy, if it's Bro Show, veteran quarterback TBD, rookie quarterback TBD, doesn't matter. And, beyond the whole Trey Lance and Brock Purdy thing, there are parallels throughout history. Now, one of them is Kirk Cousins and RG3, because remember, Washington traded up to number 2 in 2012 to go get RG3, and then in the 4th round they turned around and drafted Kirk Cousins, and eventually RG3 got hurt. Kirk Cousins probably a better fit for the Shanahan Gruden offense, and then eventually it was his job, and then RG3 was in the win. And also sticking in DC back in the day. You had Heath Schuler and Gus Frerotte. So Heath Schuler was this highly touted Heisman finalist out of Tennessee, number 3 overall pick, looking like a golden boy. He actually became a congressman. I mean, just look at that jaw. Like, he just looks like a quarterback from Central Casting, right? Also, let's talk about Norv wearing the starter jacket. Let's go, man. But Gus Frerotte coming out of Tulsa, Golden Hurricane, Tulsa King, 7th round pick. And Heath Schuler struggled, and eventually Gus Frerotte got in and took their derb. Then he played for the Vikings twice. Yeah, so we're very familiar with Gus. And, of course, not a direct parallel because, obviously, you talk about Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady, but also, Trent Green. Trent Green, 99 Rams, was supposed to be the leader there, tore his ACL. Then a UDFA, Northern Iowa, also former Hy-Vee employee Kurt Warner, just comes in with his quick release and learning how to play fast in the Arena League. All of a sudden, he comes in and looks pretty damn good and leads the Rams to a Super Bowl. Obviously, we're not putting those expectations on Brosmer in his first career start. Right, that's ridiculous. But as we laid out earlier in the day, all he has to do is do what he do, right? He doesn't have to reinvent the wheel, and as they point out several times, like, the Vikings still have a ton of talent around, right? Darrisaw looks like he's going to be going. You got Brandel in for Jackson, but Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, Hawkinson, Oliver, Jones, Mason, like, all of the elements are there. And yes, the Seahawks are tough. They have a good defense. You're on the road, but all of the talent has been there all season. Now, the offensive line certainly had issues early on, but they're getting healthy. They're starting crescendo in the middle of the season, and they still can't put those crooked numbers up on the board. So that's all that Bro Show has to do. And as we said, for the betterment of the team, again, I love and respect J.J. McCarthy, love and respect Max Brosmer, but for the betterment of the team, if Bro Show comes out and looks impressive, so much so that Kevin O'Connell has a decision to make on who is going to be starting next Sunday against the Commies, that's the best situation for the football team. All right. And also leading into 2026, no one should be guaranteed a job. It should be pure competition. That's what it comes down to. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Vikings feel like they have something with the Bro Show. Hopefully he's right. Hopefully the Vikings are right. It seems to track so far, but of course we'll see on the football field. Anyways, let us know your thoughts. Comment section, you guys, the best you have to do. Skull production value.